that there's something that we can do, which didn't work for next 6 months. It didn't work. We were trying to do a lot of things, a lot of web-based sales, marketing. There were few customers who were doing some ad hoc work, but there was nothing working as such. And then the feedback that we got during those 6 months, people were telling that, look, I don't want this infrastructure migration, SaaS migration, don't tweak my application, because the whole world was talking about it. Gartner writes reports about how cloud is all about moving data centers to cloud, how tweaking applications to move them from data center to cloud. These guys were telling me that you need to build my products native to cloud. They should behave like a cloud application. It's like, nobody's talking about that. When I go to Google, nobody says customers want this. Who the hell is talking about this need? Let's do that. So we do that. We say the same language to some more, and people say, yes, I want to do that. Can you do it? I say, yeah, why not? That's what I'm here for. And then, even though we have not done it, we create a team. The team has faith that we can do it. So there are people who stretch, who've never done that, but they learn on their own. And they say, this customer is worth spending so much effort in learning and training ourselves, and we're not making margins, we're not making profits in the first 6 months. But we got 5 customers. 5 customers who wanted what we were offering. That changed. I think it's somewhere around April 2013 things changed. And we were 6 people or maybe 9 people in April. Today we are, I think, more than 40. And I think that stream has taken us where we know now how can we explore maybe 20 more customers, 100 more customers in the next 1 or 2 years. And a lot of CIOs are now just talking to me and my team and saying, what do I do next year? And this is long term. They're talking about 2 years, 5 years. They're not talking about some application development for 2 months. And that's probably maybe a differentiator, which probably we'll talk a little later.
Let's talk about aspects of the business. So one was finally finding the focus. How did you reach customers? You're sitting in India. Big challenge in India always is how the hell do you sell elsewhere? What do you do?
Good question. I think when I started first, I used to think that when you create a website, people will come automatically. Believe me, you also thought you're not alone. So you just have to create a website, write some keywords, description, and people will flock and they will buy what you're selling. But then what if what you're selling is not what they want? They'll come, but they don't find what they want. So, and there was no sales team. When you start, you don't have a sales team. So the biggest advantage of working with an incubator like Clarion Venture Partners is they have these services which can help you say, oh, you want to try this formula, you want to try marketing, you want to do this. Here is a team which is already doing it. Brainstorm with it. But then it's not, maybe they have not done it. But if you tell them, here is a manpower available, they will quickly figure it out and do it well. So I have a shared marketing team. I have a shared sales team in that incubator. And these guys are experts in what they do. They know how to do search engine, they know how to do adverts, they know how to do lead generation. And I think speed to market, time to market, when you're a startup, that means a lot. It's not about money. It's about, can you try those 100 ideas in those next 4 or 5 weeks and say 99 don't work, but that one idea works. You can't do that without so many people helping you and say, let's do it quickly, let's do it every day, we are trying something new, we're trying, this is not working. You can't do it by being alone, by being you as the founder and you have people of delivery, and you can't. But I think when you have an environment around it, you get to do that. And which is probably the biggest mistake that even I used to think like that, and I think when I used to sit on that side, I used to interact with a lot of people, and I still interact. The analogy that comes to my mind is that we all look at the sky and say it's a starry sky. A lot of stars, bright, I want to be there. You're here, you're in a job, you're saying this gravity is pulling me down, I want to feel weightless, I want to feel the freedom, it's a bright sky. But the reality is, when you reach space, the nearest star is 4.5 light years away. There's no light except your own sun. It's dark space and the conditions are not conducive to survival. Maybe that's the difference between a job and an entrepreneur's space, right? But then we have the data. We know that people don't survive when they go without training. But still everybody wants to go there and they think that $1 million idea will give them the escape velocity, and when they reach the space, everything will turn out well. Actually, most people die when they reach space. They don't die during the transition on escape velocity. So why the hell are we not planning and preparing for when we land in the space? You need mentors, you need people who have been there, they've gone there and they know that in space there's no matter. Temperatures are beyond your imagination. You can Google and find out how space feels like. But if people like Gaurav, Ankur, Swati are not there, you will never be able to feel it before going there and dying. And I think
Watch Gravity 3D.
right. And I think a lot of us feel that the navigation tools that we have on Earth, the magnetic compass, it will help us in the space also. How many of you know how space people navigate in the space? The compass doesn't work. So what are the tools? We don't know. But do we ever take the efforts to find out what tools do I need? What services do I need to go there? Who will build my helmet? Who will build my space trajectory? I think the first thing we should do is, before you have $1 million idea or a team, you should find mentors. You should find advisors who will tell you that space is dangerous. But then there's fun in going there. So let me tell you why it is fun and not creating your obituary. And I think the best part of this whole thing is that a lot of people think that just because they have $1 million idea and a team of 3 founders, look, the days are gone when escape velocity was the problem. Now anybody can escape the gravity and reach space. How will you survive? It's a huge universe out there, right? And the possibilities are endless, obviously. But then you get lost. The nearest star is 4.5 light years away. It's not the bright starry sky that looks from the Earth, right? How do you survive? You need mentors, and the reason why I'm telling you why people navigate, how people navigate, they have reference points. I know my Ursa Minor's tail is in that side, so I follow my reference point, right? I know Gaurav has done that. I know Ankur has done that. So the only way you can navigate is have these reference points. And then go there, build your own vehicle. But I think that process, I learned the hard way. And I think all of us need to probably appreciate that it's not enough to have just passion, idea, the right founding team. You'll probably be able to survive first year, but how will you create a great business out of it? And the most pathetic part of my entrepreneur journey is that it feels like an African tribe. The mortality rate in African tribe of childs is 85%. So is entrepreneurs. Now why the hell is that? Because they don't have access to doctors, they don't have access to hospitals, they don't have access to tools. Now are we saying that I don't have access to experts? I don't have access to institutions, incubators, I don't have access to tools? Today you can Google it. So why the hell am I feeling like an African tribe where 85 of 100 people are dying when they come in this world and they don't survive? We can be better than African tribes. And entrepreneurs are smart, right? But I don't think the statistics don't suggest we are smart. It doesn't feel like we're smart. Maybe because it's the passion. But then the passion, if it is killing us, it's probably the right time to take advice from people like Ankur, Swati, Gaurav. And a lot of people here in this room, Ajay, Vishwas, I've been going to them, and maybe 3 years ago I wouldn't have even thought about saying, hey, they don't know better than me, it's my idea. So I will probably able to think more than they are. They have done that 10 years ago, they don't know what I'm doing. But that's wrong. And the first principle is that you don't have to be an expert in technology or a process to create a business. You have to first understand the philosophy of a business, right? It's a space out there. You have to know what atmosphere is there, what temperatures, what pressure, what gravity. We don't know sitting here, and I think a lot of us take us for granted कि मेरे पास एक compass है, तो ये space में भी चलेगा. We don't know whether it works or not. We don't know how navigation happens.
Before anybody gets the wrong idea, if you ask us any question, we can only give you general answers. So, but that actually leads to I want you to talk a little bit more about this. You talked about how you're finding your way after the first 6 months. You talked about how you use feedback or conversation to get some general terms. I certainly didn't tell you what the hell to do here. Neither did Ankur. So where did that, when we listen to all these stories and we talk about visionaries, they all talk about, looking back, and it looks like they had this perfect vision and they went straight there. I remember, actually I got to talk about this. I remember to my story session I heard in Bombay. I forget the gentleman's name. He built the big UPS business in India. He invented the UPS. Started from small stores in Karol Bagh. Ended up saying, "Iske andar ka part to सीधा सीधा बना दिया." And he's he'll talk in a